Hey guys, I'm Leah and I'm your local plant expert here at Jacobs Trading. If you haven't heard of Jacobs Trading, check the description below. We have some information about our online store on our website. Pretty cool, go check it out. Today we're going to be talking about some care tips for Monstera Deliciosa. Monstera Deliciosa are a tropical plant species that are in the family Araceae. They are from Central America, and over the last few years they've become quite a popular plant to have around in your home due to the splits and like the little holes in the leaves. They're super pretty. There are two common species that you can find pretty much anywhere at this point. The first one is Monstera Andersonii, which is the smaller of the two species. This one has smaller leaves and it's more of a vining species. The second one is Monstera Deliciosa, which is the one that we're going to be talking about today. It is much larger than the Andersonii, and it has the gorgeous giant leaves that we're all familiar with. Monstera Deliciosa are great plants because as they grow up, you can watch their leaves evolve. When they're small little baby ones, they have zero splits or holes within the leaves, and as they grow to more mature leaves, they produce fenestrations and splits in the leaves, which is super cool to watch as they grow. When it comes to light, Monsteras prefer bright, indirect sunlight. You can give them lower light, but the more light you give them, the more fenestrations will form within the leaves. You also want to make sure that you keep an eye on your Monstera, as if it gets too much direct sunlight, it can cause the leaves to burn. The best soil to plant your Monstera in is a well-draining soil that contains either a cactus soil, peat moss, or coconut bark, as well as perlite. When repotting your Monstera, you're going to want to make sure that you pick a pot that has drainage holes, and as well as a pot that is just slightly larger than the original pot. Typically, the rule of thumb is to go a pot that is about 2 inches larger in diameter when repotting them. When watering your Monstera, you're going to want to make sure that you check the soil first, and you can typically water them, depending on your environment, about once a week or once every 2 weeks. You just want to make sure that you stick your finger all the way down into that soil and make sure it's completely dry before you water it, as they can get root rot over time if you leave it wet. In their natural environment, Monsteras do tend to grow up the sides of trees and rocks. So as your Monstera gets a bit older, adding some kind of trellis or a moss pole would be really beneficial to them. You're also going to want to make sure that you rotate your Monstera so that they get even growth all the way around, so that light hits each leaf. Another thing you want to make sure you do is, because they have such large leaves, you're going to want to make sure that you wipe them down with a damp cloth, just so that it allows for effective photosynthesis. When dusting off your leaves, you're going to want to make sure that you keep an eye on the undersides of your leaves. While Monsteras are more resilient to pests compared to other tropicals, they can still get some thrips or mealybugs, so you're going to make sure you check your leaves for any damage. Finally, Monsteras can be more toxic and more irritating, so you want to make sure you keep them away from any small children or any pets. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you learned a little something about Monsteras today. If you haven't already, make sure you like this video, and please subscribe as well. We'll be putting out new videos every week. Stay in bloom, don't kill your Monstera!